Is the red light on? Yeah.
The red light's on now, yeah, but they just kind of put me off straight away. Welcome to the Sanctuary Podcast. I hope you're all having an amazing day today, and we have some amazing people with us today. The Roving Bear, we also have the Aaron, we also have the Sophie Bubbles, who will be introducing himself very shortly. Today we'll be going through who we are, what we are, and where we come from. Please don't sing Cotton Eye Joe. And then we'll be going into depression and video games. How does video games help against anxiety and depression, and then the release of consoles before we wrap it up for you in hopefully a timely manner. But now I'll hand over to the Roving Bear to introduce who he is and his amazing stream.
Why, thanks, Bareth. Raw. I'm Bear. I've been gaming since 1997 when, within my mortal grasp, there was a Sega Genesis controller and it was Sonic & Knuckles. Proper classic. Not that I was any good at it. I've been streaming since the start of April when the UK entered lockdown. Life was getting a bit lonely and a bit quiet. I fancied meeting awesome people and playing some great games. I've been affiliate on Twitch since the end of April, and around that time, I began to realise there were a lot more like-minded guys and gals on Discord and Twitch, so I thought I'd try and build a bit of an awesome community and see where it took me. I've raised over £1,000 for charities this year, which I'm just in absolute shock of. And I'm a variety streamer, so I like to play a lot of party games that I can bring other people in. So, your Jackboxers, your Minecraft, mostly modded nowadays. Golf with your friends is a bit of a classic that I do like to play at least once a week. Sea of Thieves, Among Us, whenever the ping rate isn't excessively high. And Phasmophobia is my absolute favourite at the moment. I stream 4 to 5 days a week, usually around 7 PM GMT, and hope to meet some of you on there.
I assume that's where he's just wrapped up that. I'm Bareth87 on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/Bareth87. You'll see that on your screen as well, as you see the Roving Bears above me. I am a streamer. I've been streaming for about 2 and a bit years now. I started on April the 13th, which also happens to be my brother's birthday. I don't know how that actually happened. I made affiliate just after that, and then following that, I put a lot by Marbles on stream, which I owe a lot to. I do a variety of games. I love my Stream Raiders, and I have some awesome skins. Go check them out. They're all giggling in the background. I can feel it in my head. At least somebody's giggling. I started playing out on the Amiga. That was many, many moons ago. And I have some very memorable stories that will be told over time, I am sure. But less about me, more about you guys. Now let's pass it on to Aaron.
Hi, my name's Aaron. I'm a fellow Epic gamer. I'm 20 years old. My first ever game was, it was either one or two of them. It was San Andreas, GTA, or it was Alex the Kid, which quite proud of because I beat my dad at beating it, which, not trying to glow or anything. I'm proud. Anyway, I used to swim on Twitch. Found out it wasn't for me. I'm glad I met all these people today. Well, back in March, whatever. I like watching movies. I play Call of Duty, Fortnite, Golf with Your Friends, modded Minecraft, and yeah.
And now moving on to Sophie.
Bloody hell, the three of you did it so well. The pressure's on. Hi, I'm Sophie. Not been a streamer for very long. I started way back by, funnily enough, doing a 24-hour stream, or at least trying to do a 24-hour stream. At the same time, I met the Roving Bear, and they basically helped me get into streaming and helped me lift off. And then before I knew it, the two of us were dating. So that was cool. Yeah, not sure what else to say about me. I'm slowly starting out. I haven't even got a schedule yet. But yeah.
Can I just also add on Sophie's behalf, in addition to games, she also does readings.
Oh yeah, and readings and art stuff.
I think that opens up to just like big up each other right now. Sophie is an absolute. Did you all hear that? Thank you, idiot on a motorbike outside.
What was that?
That sounded like. I thought that was Jay having a massive yawn there. I was like, bloody heck.
I thought it was somebody's stomach.
that was timing,
I
right?
was like, who forgot to eat before we started?
Not me, unfortunately.
Sophie's basically the mum here. But yeah, as the Roving Bear went on and to mention, Sophie does like some reading. She did a book about a cat. My dog was not impressed. He wanted a dog book. Was it Tiger Claw?
Yeah, it's called Warrior Cats, and the main character is Firepaw. So you were close.
I was close. I was close enough to be happy with my efforts. So that is who we are. That is the group that we are. We are part of the Sanctuary. We are hopefully going to entertain you for this next 24-ish minutes. Hopefully, if we can run to time. Likely it is we'll go over, but then I can cut stuff. You know, the things that are less said. But anyway, let's move on to the first question of the day. This involves depression and video games, and how does video games help against anxiety and depression, especially in the year of 2020, or any year to be fair? Because the video game community has had some stick, let's be fair. It's not always been the most respected community in the world. But I think in 2020, it's become more and more prevalent and more important to be part of the community, especially in the help against depression and the anxiety formed by what has happened this year.
Well, if I may start, I guess the number one game to kind of bring up for 2020, I think if there was a video game that represented 2020 the best, it would have to be Animal Crossing. That got released in February, March, and quite honestly, it's so rare that a game comes out at just the right time. When we're all locked down, we're being told you can't meet your family, you can't meet your friends. Animal Crossing just comes out and bang, they can come to visit your little island, you can go to their islands, you can talk to them, you can play games with them. There were people having tea parties, actual parties, which I'm not really sure how they do the dodgy dad dancing on Animal Crossing, but I'm sure I could find a way.
I mean, like, I think we all are guilty of dodgy dad dancing at some points in our existence.
At some point.
Mine's more like dodgy mum dancing.
I'm looking forward to getting involved in your dodgy mum and dad dancing there. As I sit on the outskirts going, I don't dance.
It is what it is.
It is what it
is
is.
what it is.
Okay, that took 8 minutes-ish to get in.
But I didn't say it. So, only 3 of you.
No, we were disappointed in you, babe.
I think it was this year also. You talk about Animal Crossing. Wasn't there also a game where you like left notes for strangers, released in and around last year, where you like left nice notes for strangers? I can't remember who developed it, but I remember it being mentioned by.
Now that you think about it, yeah, I remember that being mentioned. I don't remember the name of the game, but to be honest,
I immediately thought of Slenderman. I was like, that's completely different to what we're looking for.
Nice messages for strangers. He's coming behind you. Oh, what a lovely message.
It's like trying to claim Phasmophobia has a nice message left by the ghosts. Kill, kill, kill. What's the other page say? Kill, kill, kill. Oh.
Well, this book says die, 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 and I mean, I was considering going for a nice blonde highlight, so thanks, Ghost.
But, so we got Animal Crossing, there's most definitely worth of a mention in there. Of like, it just, as you say, it came out at exactly the right time. It didn't, it was really weird because it could have been delayed because of the timing, but they actually decided to plow on with it and go, like, nope, we're releasing this. Because was that released in February, March?
I want to say February. It was March, because we had lockdown. And I had it pre-ordered, and I had to get it changed to a delivery instead. So, yeah, I'm going to say March when we got locked down. It would have been within 2 or 3 weeks of the lockdown itself. and the timing was just spot on. Although, wasn't it released on the same day as Doom, which I just find such a quirky, random little gaming tidbit there.
Yeah, I've never actually played Doom yet. I was going to buy that, but I never got around to buying it. And then I saw someone play it, and I was like, I don't know now. But yeah, definitely an interesting little piece there, because I do think Doom was released in around March time as well.
Same day. Literally both came out on the same day. There was a lot of fan art about Isabel and Doom Guy.
When you say fan art, is it the art that we could search if we was at work?
In some cases, yes. And let's just leave that there.
Now that's in all your imaginations. That's the video game community has a very interesting way of portraying their characters.
But on a real though, depression has been an all-time high in the year 2020 due to this pandemic, and video games has somewhat helped that, if you're going to curve it that way.
Well, would you say that video gaming is a bit of an escape?
Yes, for certain people, but obviously not every person's going to benefit from it.
I completely agree. Sorry, Bear, you go first.
Oh no, I was just going to say I don't want to liken gaming to like medication and things, but you can't give everyone the same prescription and expect the same result. Everyone's different in a sense. So gaming for a lot of people helped.
Yeah.
And for some people, it doesn't go far enough, and for some people, it just didn't help at all. It's a mix of things that you have to do and take on in order to do it, basically.
Or there's the extreme where it's just too much gaming and they start like pulling away from family and stuff, and you know.
That's
okay, I get it. I'll go and meet with my brother. God.
that is also an interesting point though within like video gaming and isolation, and because it can form people just to self-isolate when you don't have to. You don't deal with family, you don't deal with friends. It's like, oh, the video game community is the only thing that matters. It's all about having the balance there.
Indeed. I mean, for a lot of people this year, it's been like normal years. The balance is quite straightforward to grasp for a lot of people, but this year it's been challenging for everyone because, I mean, the way that the kind of, I don't want to kind of go on about media and stuff, but you can't really escape it. People are talking about it. It's on the internet. You see it on your phones now. You're getting app updates. You struggle to get away from the virus talk, and for a lot of people, it's pushing them more towards trying to escape from it because you just can't get away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, in your day-to-day life.
I completely agree, and we're only a few steps away from having it beamed inside our heads. Doctor Who reference. Yeah, so we're only a few steps from having like all the information beamed into our heads. I would definitely not be going for that upgrade because I like my escapism. I like to be able to escape to video games.
Exactly.
I was really hooked on to go back to end this for myself, this part of the discussion. I was hooked on Animal Crossing until they introduced, I think it was Easter eggs, and they was just fluffing everywhere.
I'm going to be honest with you, that bunny rabbit, I honestly believe that wasn't an Easter character. That should have been a chuffing Halloween character. It was so goddamn freaky, that bloody bunny. Right, it's got a zip on the back of it, and when you're out of screenshot, but the camera's still panned on it, you can see it jump out of character. Like, there's nothing that comes out of it. You just can see it's just going to go, phew, there's no one there, and I can just be like my usual sadistic self, and then you appear again. It's like, oh, got to be jumpy and happy, and I'm like, I don't trust that. Do not trust that one bit. Anything that takes all my bloody stone and wood and fish and turns it into chuffing eggs cannot be trusted.
Oh,
Something
Easter
up like
updates.
Five Nights at Freddy's, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, I'm going to admit now I've not played Animal Crossing since May, and my mum, I've made a monster with that one. She's one of the people who was badly affected by kind of severe loneliness. So for her birthday, we got her Animal Crossing, and yeah, she's been playing it religiously, and she now has been telling me about how my island is the source of insects, bugs, and pests. Hmm.
So you've now been shamed for how your bedroom looks, but just on a video game.
I know. Like even in isolation, I was like, she can't see my room. There's nothing wrong with it. And now I'm getting, oh, your island's a shit tip. I'm like, oh.
Oh, mothers. As long as we hear the death march every so often, we'll be fine.
A little reference to people who don't know. We have a sound effect when she appears on the channel. The Imperial March from Star Wars appears, just to let me know she's there.
It keeps us all in line. All hail Darth Vader.
Wakanda forever.
Well, nearly all of us. Dagan,
yeah.
I'm looking at you.
Chicken nuggets forever.
Kebabs are inferior. Ooh-ah.
No, they're not. This is a
on-
controversial discussion for another time.
Moving on from kebabs and chicken nuggets, let's move on very swiftly to the launch of the consoles and how that's been handled this year. Because obviously, like the previous topic, this year has not been easy for companies to launch anything. E3, I think, got cancelled. Did it get cancelled? Or did
It did get cancelled. It kind of got cancelled. They turned it into a sort of semi-online thing, but in doing so, the big entities, your Sony, Microsoft, and so on, decided to go off and do their own thing instead.
This could lead to E3's downfall. I always thought E3 was on its way out because of like what Nintendo do, and I thought more companies would go along that route in the near future. So with these companies now having dabbled in the outside of the E3 world in launches and talking to its fan base and customer base, I honestly think this might be the end of E3 as we know it.
I have to agree. I think E3, if it only appeals to the medium, the A and the AA brands, I think it's going to struggle to retain its kind of relevance. I think E3 is going to have to evolve, and it might have to evolve by changing the deal for the entities to try and attract them back. But like Nintendo have proven, there's no guarantee, because Nintendo have found a sweet spot with the Nintendo Directs, even if we haven't actually had technically a Direct for 12 months.
Have we not? It feels
We've
like...
only had minis. We've had mini Directs, which aren't the same. A Direct is like more or less 45 minutes to an hour and contains a lot more games and discussion, whereas mini Directs are a quick showcase of 4 or 5 things.
Me personally, I like how it's been done. It, in a way, it's more professional. I got from
So
it.
the kind of quick.
Yes, like trailer, boom, 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 boom. Oh, let's talk about the consoles. Oh, trailer, boom, 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 boom. I found that really professional, and I liked it a lot. Because E3 is, you got these different camera angles, and a person comes on, speaks for about 10 minutes, and it's just, okay.
It's draggy.
Can we just see the games now? So I really like it.
Agree.
And that's why I think Nintendo's gone the way it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of gone to a position where it's like, people don't want to like wait 3 months for a showcase. They want them more regular, and so we'll just do small things really quick, boom, 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 done. And for some people that won't work for them. But we're living in a world where our attention span is the word I was after. It's really funny that I lost the word attention span. The attention span is shorter, and it's getting shorter and shorter because we expect things now and straight away.
We do. I mean, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. I mean, in a way, I like the option for games to go on early access, but I can see a lot of people getting very stressy when they're not getting the full game detail straight away. I think the right ground there is if a game kind of says so up front, but I agree with you.
Yeah, going on to early access, like, I think it's completely wrong how some things do early access. Early access should be available for everybody if you're going to have early access available. That just flips back to consoles. But
Agreed.
For example, 7 Days to Die, for example, it's got the nickname 7 Days to Go Live because it's still in early access about 6-7 years later. I love the developers, I love the game. Well, I loved the game until they changed the mass gameplay. But it's an interesting game, and it still offers challenges, and they've changed it a lot in its development. It doesn't feel like it's the same game, so it feels like you've brought 2 different games. But you don't have the old version of the game anymore, because unless you obviously into your modded stuff, which I am, so I can obviously play the older versions.
I reckon games should follow like Call of Duty's way, and like have a pre-alpha beta, and then if that goes well, they'll have another beta, just fine-tune stuff and release it, and just go from there. But if stuff needs to be worked on, like drag it out, put another beta in there, and then release it and see how it goes.
See, go on. Someone else was about to come in there.
No.
See, I like that. And obviously there is quite a few other like games which like drag out their development process, and there's obvious reasons for it, like money wise. You need to be having income while you're developing a game, for example.
Well, exactly. So, for a studio of 1 or 2 people like Phasmophobia's Kinetic Games, it makes so much sense because the money that they're getting for this game, it's probably more than the studio has. I don't know how old the studio is, but it's probably the most the studio will have ever seen. And it will enable them to expand the team, hire more developers, designers, so on. It could enable them to not only create more character models and create more house kind of location settings for the game. It enables them to do it quicker as well, which can help to kind of speed up the growth and progress of the game to keep it fresh, which I know is a kind of popular thing nowadays where games will evolve. So like Splatoon, for example, kind of had that whole essence of we're going to have 8 different maps, but we're going to rotate them in constantly. We're going to add new ones in from like every year, but we're going to make sure that it doesn't get too stale with the modes and stuff.
Exactly. Let's just flip.
We'll go back to the consoles.
Back
I realize
to consoles. Yeah, we've kind of walked away from the consoles.
From the consoles, if I could just say, I will give, because for anyone who doesn't know, my entire background is mainly I started on Nintendo, stuck with Sony from PlayStation onwards, with one brief Xbox 360, and now I'm moving over to the X. But I will give Sony complete credit. As a Japanese firm, to have the fact that no one at a Japanese firm typically works from home, to have evolved so quickly in a year to get virtually your entire team working from home, to get them the equipment, the internet they need. Because surprise, surprise, as futuristic as we see Japan, they don't have that quite as a common thing yet. A lot of rural towns don't really have a great deal of internet, supplied to them. So to have their entire staff working on the PlayStation, working from home, and to keep it on track and on time is a huge achievement for them. And the same goes for Nintendo in terms of their directs and games. Because Japan was locked down like we were, they couldn't go in the office, they had to do something. And I think they've mitigated a lot of delays in that way.
I agree. The way that business has had to evolve, and some companies have evolved better than others. I want to go back to the previous set of console releases as well, because I've got to say Sony have to be one of the most trolly companies I've ever seen in my life. Does anyone remember that when Xbox came out and said this is how when you get a game, you've got to it'll go onto your game, onto your thing, and then basically it's stuck there, so you can't give your disc to somebody else.
They did a whole video based on that. And
Sony,
floating.
Sony basically went, this is how you lend a game to a friend. Here, have a disc.
See, that's the thing.
Absolutely trolly.
I chose a PlayStation 4 for that moment From when Xbox said, from that very moment when Xbox said, "This is what we're doing," I was like, "Nope, sod that PlayStation 4," because I've got a lot of friends who around the area who do have PlayStation 4s as well, and we had PlayStation 3s together. And the whole essence is you buy a game, which at the time we were apprentices, college students. We didn't have a lot of money, and you play that single player game, and you share it with a friend.
Yeah, you then
And
pass it on, wouldn't you? It was like
Yeah.
a library book system, if you want to go back in the days.
Although you'd always have an argument when you realise that they'd pinched a copy of Elder Scrolls Oblivion and they weren't giving it back.
Yeah, that was never going to work well.
The trouble that the consoles has got now is that each year, going on and on and on, there's more excitement for it. So the demand is going to be pretty high.
And you could also argue there are now even more people able to now afford these consoles.
Yes, that's another thing as well. The price, I think that's going to go up each year slowly. But surely.
Well, I mean, Sony made a huge error with the PlayStation 3 when the initial release price was. Well, let's put it this way: the PlayStation 3 was more expensive than the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
That was a huge error. I mean, I ended up with a PlayStation 3 anyway, but I'd started with a 360 because the price was just so astronomical I couldn't afford it.
They made a grave error of judgment continuously.
They did. Yeah, I won't lie. There was a little bit of me that maybe it's more jealousy or anything when you see like a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of Twitch streamers, and a lot of them have got their streams and videos out about the new PlayStations and Xboxes. It kind of sucks in a way because
it completely flips back to where we was talking about earlier, and it's a good place to start wrapping this up because it's all about, if you're going to do early access, it's early access for everyone. It shouldn't be early access for the chosen few.
Exactly. I mean, I would have loved to have done an unwrapping video, but alas. I'll just have to wait until the Xbox fridge gets released.
Exactly, we can all unwrap the Xbox fridge. Talking about fridges, I'm about to get slapped for this segue. Sophie, what's your thoughts on this, just to wrap up this part of the conversation?
Well, it's funny listening to like all of your opinions because I'm the complete other way. Like, I'm not too bothered about the release of consoles. I just keep the ones that work for me, and as long as they don't break down, I'm not going to buy a new one. So I'm the complete other way. But it's interesting to like hear all of like your opinions and your thoughts on this, like from the point of view of someone that just keeps old reliable stuff.
It runs in the family, doesn't it? Your brother's like got all the old reliable stuff in his room.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an old console collector, yeah. Although, I mean, he does normally like buy the new stuff as well, but yeah, he keeps all the old stuff as well.
That picture in our Discord is a bit of an intriguing one. Definitely go into the Discord to go into that. The link for the Discord will be underneath the YouTube video as well.
I feel like his bedroom will one day belong in the National Video Game Arcade in Sheffield. That's how much stuff is in there.
It is impressive. It is very, very impressive.
He absolutely loves talking about it as well, so if anyone wants to ask him questions about old games and stuff, go ahead. He would love to talk about it.
Again, that is male Sophie. I can't remember his Twitch username.
It's Mad Metal Man 123.
Mad Metal Man 123. I'm sure he will love your company, and if you do want to discuss all the old stuffs,
such as how the PlayStation 2 became the greatest old console of all time.
That leads to a debate for another day about retro consoles and what a retro console actually is. Definitely a debate for another time and discussion for another time. But anyway, I can see the time has racked up already. I mean, time flies, right?
Time flies when you're having fun.
So, let's wrap this up. So, we've had Sophie here, who is an absolutely amazing streamer. And remember to go and check Sophie Bubbles out, the Roving Bear as well, and me, Bareth87. We've spoke about the video games and how it's helped against anxiety and depression and loneliness. We've spoke about the release of consoles, early access, and old consoles as well. So I'm going to leave it to these guys to wrap up for themselves, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bear, your turn.
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening. Remember to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. And check out Bareth87, The Roving Bear, Sophie Bubbles, and if you're on Discord, go and say hi to Aaron. He gets lonely.
Yes.
So lonely.
I've been Aaron. It's been a pleasure to be on this podcast today. Be sure to follow and subscribe to all the people in the description below. Make sure you join the Discord and stay safe.
That's the best message I've heard so far. And also when you start with, I've been Aaron, does that mean next week? Hi, I'm Darren.
You'll have to tune next week.
Ooh.
And that leaves us with the final words from the one, the true, the amazing Sophie Bubbles.
Well, thank you, Bareth. All I'm going to say is take care, my dudes, stay safe, love yous, and see you for the next pod.
You've been listening to a Sanctuary broadcast. We will now resume regular programming.